Hey, what's up everyone? This is Joe from Sled Shed Bikes, Boards, Bouldering. So glad you stopped in on the channel today. Today I am talking about my first impressions about the Bontrager Rally mountain bike shoe. I just recently got these shoes, just finished actually my first ride with them, and I have to say really pretty pleased overall. I'm coming off of having used the Five.Ten Maltese Falcon for probably the last 2 years, and I've really been pretty happy with it. Coming from those, I had just some cross-country clipless shoes. When I went to the Maltese Falcon, it was my first kind of flat slash clipless shoe that looks like a casual skate shoe, and I was happy with it, but I really didn't have much to compare it against. Having had these shoes now, I actually am pretty happy. Now I have some comparison. And probably, I think the biggest thing that I like with these shoes over the Maltese Falcon is that this channel right here is quite a bit deeper. You can see that, you know, if you were walking on flat ground, the cleat is in there far enough that it actually is, you know, it's not going to be pivoting on or rubbing on that as you walk. And that's actually pretty nice. That translates to the pedal, because when you're on the bike, you get more contact on the bottom of the shoe with the actual pedal.
Definitely my favorite thing about these shoes is that they feel a lot more like flats, even though I'm clipless.
And I didn't realize that, but my Maltese Falcon shoes, I was basically standing on the cleat and I wasn't making contact with the shoe at all. And I tried actually using it with or without the shim, but that channel is it's just not deep enough. And you're basically always standing on the cleat with a pair of Crank Brother enduro mallet pedals. That's probably the biggest thing that I think is awesome. I think this shoe is a little bit lighter. I haven't actually put it on a scale yet, but just judging by the EVA foam that this shoe is made out of versus the Stealth rubber from Five.Ten, that right there I think probably makes the biggest difference in weight. This also is using a synthetic leather here. The Five.Ten shoe uses a real leather. So I guess time will tell whether or not this shoe is as durable as the Maltese Falcon. It actually still looks pretty tough. And one thing I do think is this shoe looks a lot more waterproof than my Maltese Falcon. The Maltese Falcon kind of has like some canvas stuff on the toe and on the side, which is probably great for breathability, but it definitely, like when it gets wet, it's heavy. And it takes like a full day in the sun to dry out. So these look like they'll probably shed water a lot better. Maybe they'll hold a little bit of water in the tongue, but definitely not as significant as with the Maltese Falcon. I did notice there's not quite as much contact here as with the Maltese Falcon, but it definitely still seemed like it was enough to stay in place. Comfort, I think, is the number one thing with these shoes over anything else that I've been using.
So these shoes, pretty darn comfortable right out of the box. Shoes are super comfy, as I was saying. The shoes are very comfortable. I like them. These shoes are seriously comfortable.
My feet felt like they were on pillows the whole time. Really pretty stoked on how these shoes turned out. One more note, I guess I would just say, is that I'm like a size 10 or a Euro 43 in like everything. And I went ahead and did that same thing with this shoe, and I'm happy with it. Kind of wondered if maybe I'd want to size up, maybe a half size, but after having been out on the trail with them, I wouldn't want to do anything else. So if you're always on the fence between kind of half sizes, maybe you'd want to go up to that, that half size, but otherwise I think you're going to be happy just going with whatever you usually do. Narguard is what Bontrager calls that, and it honestly does seem pretty tough, and I like how it's all just like everything's sealed from the elements, pretty tight stitching and everything. So yeah, stoked. These are available on sledshedshop.com. We'll put a link in the description, so be sure and check that out. Yeah, sweet shoe. Super stoked.
Well, anyway, hard to say a whole lot more just because this is only a first impressions, but so far super happy with them, and they're standing up pretty good to all this.